Hey everyone, this is Mike from Comic Book Trove here today with another book review, and today I'm going to take a look at the Batman The Long Halloween Catwoman When in Rome Deluxe Edition. Now this is the latest release in the series of new Deluxe Edition releases that they're doing for the whole Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale Batman Long Halloween saga. And to take a quick look at what this looks like next to those two books, which I have already covered on the channel, feel free to watch my review of those if you haven't already and you're interested. But this new design is very much kind of in line with these. In each case, it's a new cover, a new bit of artwork by Tim Sale that he's done especially for these deluxe editions. And I really like all three, but I actually think this Catwoman might be my favourite of the lot. Kind of tough to say because I do like them all. You will perhaps notice that it matches the design a little bit more of Dark Victory because, as I mentioned in that previous video talking about these two, they made a slight mistake when it came to the Batman logo here on Long Halloween. It was supposed to look like these so that they all matched, but they did it differently. But you know what, overall they still look really good together. And just to give a quick look at what they will all look like lined up on the shelf in terms of the spines, just quickly put them together here, show them off like that. Okay, so they're going to look like this, you know, all three lining up pretty well, I think, even though there is a slight difference in the Long Halloween one. Overall, they look fine, you know, really good. In fact, I think this is my favourite way that these have been collected so far. But today, obviously, we're going to look mostly at When in Rome, because I have already covered those two. But I just wanted to show them together, give you that view of the three and what they look like lined up. So this really nice design, as I say, new artwork by Tim Sale. I like this kind of white and purple colour scheme that they've gone for on the cover, and that follows around onto the back as well. This was an image that Tim Sale did for the, I think, a cover of a trade paperback, which previously collected this. And I think that's really cool as well. Honestly, really nice artwork. Tim Sale's work on this whole era of stories, really great. So then we get a bit of blurb though. So a Catwoman murder mystery, and like the Long Halloween and Dark Victory, this is very much thematically in line with those in that overall it is a mystery story at heart. That is really what it's all focused on. Is a key mystery, this time focusing on Selina Kyle's past, her family history in particular. And I think I'll give a spoiler warning just at this point before I dive into the book any further. I really like this purple colour scheme that they've gone for on these opening pages. Really, really nice. But yeah, just in case you haven't read this and you want to go in blind and enjoy it all fresh, then fair warning, I might show off some artwork here or briefly discuss some story elements that could spoil things for you, and I'd hate to do that, so fair warning. I've also discussed this story previously when I looked at the Batman by Loeb and Sale omnibus, as that also collects this story, as well as Long Halloween, Dark Victory and Haunted Night. So I might not go into this in total detail, just because I'm pretty sure in that long review for that omnibus I discussed this and those stories in a whole lot of detail already. But certainly this is a really fun supplementary story, okay, that really works to read after you've read A Long Halloween and Dark Victory. In terms of chronology, this takes place during Dark Victory. There's a point in that story where Catwoman disappears. She goes absent for a while. And this shows what she does before she ends up coming back towards the end of that book. And what she did was she went on a trip to Italy with the Riddler, of all people. And she went there to try and discover or uncover the secrets of her past. What she basically has is a hunch or reason to believe that she might be somehow connected to the Falcone family, and she wants to go there and try and discover proof of that. Well, to either prove that it is or isn't the case, so she can better understand her past, basically. And in the same kind of way that Long Halloween and Dark Victory, each issue of those stories takes place on, for example, a holiday like Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, etc. This story it takes place over a week, so it's a 6-issue story, and each issue takes place on a day. So chapter 1, you go through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on, with the story finishing at the end of that week. I will say that the Tim Sale artwork in here, really nice. There are a few panels, this one being a great example as I turn to it, of the kind of sexiness factor of Selina Kyle being really kind of shown off and highlighted. but I don't think it's anything over the top, so it's not like every page is a whole load of cheesecake artwork that might put you off if that's not your thing. But there's just a kind of couple of pages in particular, I think, that focus on that element of her character, you can say. But really, this is just a fun story. So it's written in a very interesting way. The Riddler is really there for kind of comic relief. It's kind of an interesting way that the Riddler is drawn and presented in here. Like, he's really not much of a threat. She's just forcing him to tag along to solve, like, I don't know, if she needs some problem solving done, she's basically forcing him to do it for her. As each chapter you see here, they're using some this nice like postcard images as well, which I think is a really cool thing as well. Key thing, does Batman appear in this story? Kind of, but also not really. And I'll let you discover what I mean by that for yourself by reading this book if you haven't already. But yeah, this is not a Batman story, you know, this is very much a Catwoman solo story. And it's not necessary reading. You know, I will say that if you like the look of this as I flick through it, and it seems to appeal to you, if the idea of a Catwoman solo adventure taking place in Italy, uncovering a couple of mysteries, sounds appealing to you, and it did to me before I read it, so I checked it out and enjoyed it. But then I do think it's well worth reading. Certainly if you enjoyed The Long Halloween and Dark Victory, I don't see why you wouldn't like this as well. I don't think it's as good as those stories, but it's still a lot of fun. But as I say, it's not necessary reading, so don't worry about maybe if you don't read this, you won't understand something that takes place in Dark Victory, for example. That's not the case. Those stories are very much complete stories, and this is something you can kind of read to, as I say, just supplement the experience, really, if you're interested. But if you missed it, you wouldn't be lost in terms of those stories. It's nothing so hugely significant here that it has a big effect on the way you understand those stories. Nevertheless, I do think it's worth reading, and it is one of my favourite Catwoman stories personally, so it gets a recommendation from me. But one thing that I think is maybe, you know, not great about this particular edition is just the pricing of it, the cost. It's quite expensive for what it is, you know, it's not very big, to put it as simply as possible. And in the back, there's not a whole lot of extras. Like, you get this character sketchbook, some original Tim Sale character sketches of Catwoman and Riddler. And they're nice, you know, they're really cool. I like to see them. But that's only a few pages, and then that's it, you know. That's that original trade paperback cover though, using that image on the back of this book. And then there's some like page progression images here. But yeah, it's not a thick book, you know, it is about 180 pages, I think. You know, you can see here it's about as thin as a deluxe edition ever really gets. So that pricing on the back of, what is it, $49.99 US dollars, $65.99 Canadian. That translated to me getting it for about nearly £30 here in the UK. And if I didn't love this whole Loeb and Sale saga so much, and I didn't really like the look of these deluxe editions in particular, yeah, I probably would have given it a miss. So I can understand maybe why that would put you off. But nevertheless, I do think these are worth picking up, certainly if you're a fan of this series. If you're not a fan of it, or at least you haven't read it yet to realise if you're a fan of it or not, maybe check out this material in another format first if you can, before committing to these. But obviously it's up to you at the end of the day. I just want to kind of put the points out there, show off the book, and ultimately maybe help you make that decision for yourselves. But all in all, another good addition to these deluxe editions. This line that they're doing is coming along really nicely, and we have had confirmation now, I think, that they are aiming to publish a Haunted Night deluxe edition, which would presumably look the same in style as these books, and I think that's going to be coming out as of now, set for roughly an October release of this year, 2022. So we'll see about that and what that looks like if it comes out. But thanks for watching this review today, guys, for watching the overview of this book. I appreciate you sticking around as always. And let me know your thoughts on this book, on this story, how you like these deluxe editions. Are these formats you're looking to pick up, maybe instead of the omnibus, or do you prefer the omnibus collection, or the absolutes, the trade paperbacks? These stories have been collected in, I think, almost every format going at this point. So yeah, just let me know. Always happy to hear from you. But thanks again, guys. I'll be back again soon to discuss something else.